Today, we're going to be learning about kicker plans. All right. And so when we build out your bonus plans for FrontRunner, like we have for so many of you, we started right over here in agency setup, and it's going to be on step 3. Now, I want to get a little more, not cathartic, but a little bit more high level here with this. So many of you have great bonus plans, right? And the thing that we learned is that there are as many different bonus plan types as their State Farm agents, right? Which is why FrontRunner has to be really deep in terms of what it can do with building your plans, because we want to accommodate you, not you accommodate us, right? And again, you'll know this way better than I do, but the idea of a bonus and comp plan, right, is to incentivize your team to sell more. So that's a huge deal. That's kind of the big idea. So the idea is that you could build these bonus plans, these comp plans, to incentivize your team to sell more, to direct your team to sell specific kinds of things. And that's really what kickers are all about. Now, again, you probably already know what kickers are, but let me just say it just to say it. The way that we see really successful agents using kickers is that they use kickers as a bonus or comp on top of comp. In other words, they're going to use kicker to take someone's typical base commission stuff and elevate it based upon them doing something else, right? And so this is really, really helpful if you're trying to get your team to sell more life. If you're trying to get your team to get a certain number of apps as their goal, it's helpful to build what we call a kicker, right? And again, it's most helpful used as a bonus on top of a bonus. Now, in saying that, some of you have bonus plans that we've built them all out in the kickers. And that's just because there's some complex stuff going on that our kicker structure has to manage. All right. So today we're going to show you how to build a few different types of kickers. Hopefully this will give you some ideas about maybe some things that you want to have for your agency, or it might inspire you to get in here and build kickers on your own. Sound good? All right, here we go. So first things first, again, we did cover this last time, but most of your kickers are going to have a condition to set them in motion, right? And so last time we talked about our validators as being keys, right? There's a key that unlocks many of your bonus plans. There's a key that unlocks your comp. Well, just like there's a key to do that, we use our validators, which is question number 14, to literally unlock kickers, right? So there's something that your team has to do to get the kicker, right? There's something they have to sell. There's an activity they have to execute. There's accumulation of those things they have to do to unlock it, right? So whenever you hear me say, let's create a validator, all I'm talking about here is what is that key that unlocks that bonus on top of a bonus, which is what we're calling the kickers, all right? So again, I'm not going to go completely over this again, but again, you create those keys right here in what we call premium validations. All right, and we're going to build a couple. I'm not going to go over these again because we did it over last video, but if you missed it, no problem. You'll still pick up what we're doing here in just a second. All right. All right. So we're going to go on down, and your kicker plans are going to be built right beneath your bonus plan. So here are your bonus plans. Here's the plan levels that we've created. And then right underneath that is going to be the kicker plans. Now you see we've already got some kickers in here. And again, those are just for giggles. Okay. All right. So we're going to ignore these kickers, but what we're going to do is we're going to build a first kind of kicker. All right. So you want to give a bonus on top of a bonus, and let's just do a really common one. Okay. Let's do a kicker that says, for every life sale that your team sells, okay, so for every life sale, you're going to give an extra 1% on their PNC. All right, so for every life, you're going to give an extra 1% on their PNC. Now, we could build this up in the bonus plan, but this is really a kicker, right? Because you want to incentivize your team to sell more life. So we're going to create a kicker plan for that. All right, so for every one life, and we're going to just say for every one life, we'll just say for every one life written. All right. So because, State Farm, it takes a little bit to issue those things. So we're going to say for every written life, you are going to give them an extra percent on their PNC. So here we go. So first thing that you're going to do is you're going to create a brand new kicker plan. And we're going to name it, we're going to name it Life Kicker. Something as simple as that. Now, just like our product plans, you can build multi-level kicker plans, but for this first example, we're just going to build a one-level plan, just as I described. So we're going to call it Life Kicker. Don't forget to highlight that level, because if you start just putting all those kicker instructions right in here without it being highlighted, you're going to lose all your work. So just a FYI. All right, now that we've got our plan level created, we're now going to set some rules. So let me give you a quick introduction to what you're looking at here in the matrix. So the first thing is this: your kickers also have the ability to assign keys to those. Now, again, we don't need a key for this one because we're going to build it right, all of the keys right inside of our minimum qualifications box. But for the next kicker we're going to build, you're going to need a key for that. All right, so here we go. First thing is, we don't need a key, but what we want to say is that we want to increase their PNC 1% for every life that they write. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is we want to say, yep, we want to include written sales in the qualifications. So we're telling this box that we want to look not only at issued sales, we want to look at just sales that are even written. All right, we're not going to need what premium to use. And we're not going to need minimum points, total points to qualify. So think about our kickers in this way. This is right here. This is setting all the rules for how the kicker should work. And then down in the next three boxes is you tell it how much it should pay once it hits all those rules. Easy enough? So you're going to set the rules up here, and then you're going to tell it how to pay once it hits all of those rules. That's a kicker. There's a qualification, and then there's a payout for it. So on this one, we've got two ways to set rules. We can do them sort of basic right here. You know, a sale count, here's your bonus amount sort of thing. But you're mainly going to use what we call point-based, which you'll click that button right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to assign this as points. So we're going to say, all right, for every life, I'm going to click the product. And I don't want it to tier up on premium, but you could tiered up on premium. I'm going to say for every one life policy, so one coin is going to equal 1 point. All right, as easy as that. So one life equals 1 point. All right, and then that's it for the qualifications. Now, what I'm going to do is I set up my rule, and now I'm going to tell it how to pay. So one life equals 1 point earned, and then I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to say, let's see, we're going to do right here, this percentage schedule once qualified. All right. And what this is asking is it's asking how do you want to pay? Right now, I could say once they get to one life, give them a total bonus multiplier, but that's not what I'm doing. Again, there's a lot of blanks here because we have to cover a lot of things. So you're not going to always use every single blank. All right. And then I'm going to say, well, what's the schedule type? Okay, how do you want it to compound? Do you want it to be a fixed percentage multiplier? Do you want to do a percentage points per premiums or percentage points per policy? I want to do percentage points per policies. So, because remember, I said for every policy, I wanted to give a percentage on something. All righty. So there we go. And then it's going to say, well, where do you want to apply that to? Where do you want to apply the 1%? Well, there's really a couple of different options here, but I want to apply it on the PNC premium, right? Now I could also do it on the PNC bonus. So here's the difference of that, right? If I want to say give them 1% more on their PNC premium for every life they write, I want it to apply on the premium. But we have a lot of agents that say, nope, when you write one, I'm going to give you an extra 1% of your PNC bonus, right? So if their bonus was, say, $100, when they hit the kicker, I'm going to give you 101. All right. If it's $1,000, I'm going to give you 100 and whatever. So, but for this example, we're going to say, we're going to apply it on the PNC premium. All right. And then we're just going to go here. We're just going to say, yeah, because they followed the rules. Every time they have a policy, we're going to give them 1%. All right. So one policy for 1%. right here on the PNC premium. All right, so we've got our qualifiers up here. We then tell it how to pay down here. And that's it. You can ignore these other two boxes because those are for different things. And then you can also do apply a percentage cap. So you might say, all right, for everyone they write, but I want to cap out their PNC premium at say 7% or 6% or something. You can put that right in here so that this kicker is never going to pay more than that percentage. For some of you, that's going to be really important. All right. And then we're going to hit save. And then boom, we've just created a kicker. And that kicker is going to pay 1% for every life, 1% on PNC premium for every life. So for instance, if your team was getting 3% on their PNC, if they write 1 life, they're now going to get 4%. If they write 2 life, they're going to get 5, so on and so forth. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to assign the plan. So this is really important. So if you look down here, you're going to see something called bonus plan assignments. And then you'll scroll right down there and you're going to see kicker plan assignments. So when you create a kicker, you want to assign it to your team. Now, again, you might create this for your whole team, or you might just create that for one team member. Doesn't matter. You can do it right here. Now, if you want to assign it to all months, you can pick the plan. So this is this life kicker plan that we just built. We're going to assign it to all team members for now, and we're going to assign it to all months. Action, apply plan. All right. And there it is. So now it's, if I were to roll down for all of these, I would see it highlighted, and then I hit save. All right. And now that kicker plan is assigned. Now here's how it's going to show. If you go over to the bonus page, when they, let's just say that we've assigned it here, and whenever they write a product, write a PNC policy, auto fire, whatever it is, it's going to show their base comp here, and then, or their base commissions here. And then if they write the 1 life, it's going to show the 1% here. So that's a common misnomer when we build kickers. It doesn't all lump it together into auto and fire. It's going to keep this at whatever level, that base level that you created, and then it's going to show them how much kicker they obtained from that. So that's a pretty important deal. Now that kicker plan is a very simple one that we just made, right? And you can see how you could build really robust kickers with this. And so we encourage you to go and play around with that and see how it affects it. But that's the first type of kicker that you can do. Now, but then maybe there's a different kind of kicker. Maybe there's a let's just call it a app count kicker. Let's just say you have something in your office and you say, hey, yep, when you get to 50 apps for the month, and like I don't care what product it is, when you issue 50 apps for the month, I'm going to give you a $250 bonus. All right. That's a pretty common one that we see. Some sort of not the amount per se, but the amount of policies you hit, we're going to give you a certain amount of money. All right. That's going to be a bonus on top of a bonus. So therefore it would be a kicker, and we can create that right here. And it's super easy. So here we go. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a rule for it. Okay. And we're going to create that rule right up here in question number 14. Okay. So we're going to create a validation. Remember, validations are just keys. That's it. And we're going to call this the 50 app kicker key. Okay. Then we're going to create a condition. So there's the condition. And what we really want is we want for the team member, product is, and we're going to say any product. The sale count, we want it to be 50. Now you could do this in a variety of ways, right? You could do it based on premium. You could do it based off of collected premium for just looking at a life policies or something. But we're just going to say 50 products, any business type, and we're going to say sales that are issued on the period, written anytime. So as long as you issue 50 policies, you're going to get $250. All right. So now we've created our key, any product. Now I could just say when you get to 50 auto, or I could say just when you get to 50 PNC, but we're just going to do any product for our purposes here, and we're going to hit save. All right, now that I've created my key, I'm now going to go and create the plan for that. So now I'm going to scroll down to my kicker plans. I'm going to hit new kicker plan, and I'm going to literally name it 50 app kicker. hit save. All right. So now I've created the plan name. Don't forget to select it. If you don't, all your work's going to be in vain. And then now I'm going to go assign that key I just created. There's my 50 app kicker. Remember, when we're assigning keys, you can't just put it there. You do have to hit the little plus button. All right. And all I want to do is I want to give it a flat bonus. Now, remember, since I created the key here, I don't have to create the key here. And the reason I don't have to create the key here is because I've done it there. So I know, just said it both ways. Now, you technically could create the key here. But the reason we do this one up here is because this is going to include policies that were written in any month, but issued in that month. If you create the qualifications here, it's only going to look at what's written or issued in the current month. So that's why we really like to create premium validations for our qualifications. All right, so I've created the key and I just want to give them $250. So I don't need to fill any of this out. All right, and then it's not going to be a percentage schedule like we did last time. Instead, now it's going to be a per policy schedule once qualified. Remember, the key is the qualifier. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just give them a $250 cash bonus. So I'm going to pop in $250 right there. And I'm going to hit save. All right. And that's it. And then obviously I'm going to go down and I'm going to go back to my plan assignments, which is down below. And I'm going to pick that plan, 50 app kicker, all team members, all months. I'm going to apply the plan. And now you'll see it down there. There it is. And I'm going to hit save. Sorry, I've got a lot of team members here. All right, and so we're going to let that save. And so what happens is that when your team member gets to their 50th app, they're going to all of a sudden see a $250 a kicker there. Okay, so now we're going to create one more kind of kicker. And again, we are just sort of going on this, not the surface here, but we're just doing some common ones that we've seen. You can see how we can build out all kinds of different kickers here. I mean, just all kinds of different things. Now for this one, we're actually going to do a little bit more of a complex one to kind of wrap up our at least the instructional part of kickers. Again, we can create hundreds and hundreds of kinds of kickers with this. So we encourage you to get in there and play with it. So we're going to create a kicker now where we're going to do points. All right. And this is how we're going to do it. Let's say that we want a qualifier to say to open up this kicker, we want you to average 100 phone calls for the month. I know that sounds crazy, but maybe this kicker plan says, I want you to average 100 phone calls a month. And if you average 100 phone calls a month, you're going to open up what we call our points kicker. All right. And our points kicker is going to go like this. We're going to give you 1 point for every auto. We're going to give you 1 point for every fire, and then we're going to give you 2 points for any financial service. Okay. And then what we're going to say is we're going to say, whenever you get to 200 points, we're going to give you a $300 bonus. All right. I know that sounds crazy, but our kickers can do that. And so let me show you how to do that. All right. So first thing is we're going to go create our key. And remember, our key was average 100 phone calls for the month. So we're going to go to premium validations. We're going to hit new validation and we're going to say 100 phone calls. We're going to hit add condition for the team member. Rather than a product, we're now going to say it's a tracking item. And remember, those tracking items are created in step 2. And now we're going to say calls. And now we don't want them to just hit 100. We want them to have a daily average of 100. So it's going to look at their whole month and see, are they averaging 100 phone calls? That's going to be the key. Okay, boom. So now we've just created our key. And so now let's build out our plan. So again, we're going to roll down to our kickers. And we're going to create a new plan. We're going to call it the 100 call average point kicker. You may never do this in your agency. I'm just trying to think of one of the crazier kind of examples. All right, so I just created the 100 call average point kicker. Remember, I'm going to assign my key. So there it is, 100 phone calls. Okay. And now I got to create some points. Remember, I said I'm going to give 1 point for every PNC app, and then I'm going to give 2 points for every financial service. So it's going to be point based. So I'm going to click on point based. I'm going to click on PNC and financial service because I don't care which category it comes from. And I'm going to say, okay, for every PNC app, we're going to give 1 point. But for every financial service app, we're going to give 2 points. All right, so points for that. Again, you can totally do premium per point if you want, no problem. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, now, once you get to 200 points, now what this means is that they can hit it any way they want to, right? I mean, they can literally do whatever. So we're going to change the rule type, right? We're going to change the rule type to say any of the following. Use any of the following. All you got to do is get to 200 points. All right, so now I've created my points, and now I just want to pay them a flat $300 bonus. So remember, I'm going to skip past this one, and I'm going to go to the fixed cash bonus and put $300. All right, and that's it. And bam, that's all. That's all. So now what's going to do is our system's going to start giving them points for every app that they issue, as long as they have 100 average calls. And once they get to 200 points to qualify, it's going to pay them that flat bonus. Now, again, I know maybe most of you don't even have that, and there's a whole lot more functionality, but I wanted to give you a brief overview of how to use kickers to build these things out, right? And so again, you can give everything from flat bonuses to bonuses that tier up, because again, you can tier up different plans. And then you can do different kind of compounding things. So let me, as I finish our time, I'm going to briefly explain every box again, just so you know, and then we're going to take some question and answer. And maybe it's about give me some other ideas for kickers, and maybe some of you can share about what you're doing for kickers. So all kinds of things. Okay, so remember, this is our key validators. Those are at the top. Those are the keys. And again, you can create any kind of validator you want. Then there's a minimum qualifications. So again, there's going to be a couple. There's going to be sale-based and point-based. And so most often that's going to be a point-based thing where you assign a certain amount of points per policy or per points per premium. And that's to qualify for somebody to plan. Then we get our next box, which is called percentage schedule once qualified. So this is going to be when you pay people by a percentage. The next box down is when you're going to be paying them more flat dollar amounts. This is going to be a percentage. And the options here are fixed percentage multipliers, percentages points per premiums, percentage points per policies, or qualification count percentage multipliers, right? So I won't go through and just bore you with all these terminologies, but it does make your kickers work. All right. And then this is where you assign the values down here. The next box is the per policy scheduled once qualified. All right. So you can create the qualifications at the top. And then you can literally come down here and give a per policy cash bonus for any of these. So you might want to pay 3% on PNC as a product level, but then you could say once they hit, let's say, I don't know, once they have 6 life apps, you want to give them $5 per policy for every product that they sell. That's pretty common, right? So you would create a key that says, 6 life apps written or issued. And then you would come down here and you would say, again, you could skip that box because you're not going to use it. Then you would say, okay, start after minimum qualifications are met. We're going to clear out that box right there. And we're going to say for any product, give $5. And that's it. And you hit save. And as soon as they hit that qualification, it's going to start paying them $5 for each one. Okay, so that is, and then here's another percentage multiplier increase. So I know this sounds really heavy and you're like, okay, I'm going to drop off. There's no way I can get this. But the big idea behind this is just to help you to know that we can do a lot of things here with building kickers. And we want you to go in and experiment with things as well. If you have any questions about how something works, we've got this chat button right here. We'd love to help you build kicker plans. And some of you are like, Adam, I don't want to build a kicker plan. I just want you to do it. No problem. I'm still glad you saw this because you can see all of the different things that we can do. It might get your mind working to say, how can you better compensate and better incentivize your team to sell when you see all that FrontRunner can do with building kicker plans. With that, thanks everybody. Really appreciate you. If we can help you, hit us up on chat, give us a call. We're grateful that you're in the family. So everybody have a great day.